Talking like your flow is harder, throw you in the coldest water. My fists make contact with your jaw like aliens did Jodie Foster. Call your bluff like Jeopardy, crush you like a centipede.
All right, so that was Cavern Dwellers. You can go and check them out. There will be a link down below. You can just go ahead and click that. That's off their new mixtape. It's pretty hot. Anyway, what's going on, all you hip-hop heads? It's your boy B here, and today we're with another interview. Today I am interviewing Garcia Vega. Let's go ahead and give your introduction, fam. Let them know who you are.
Yeah, what's up? This is Garcia Vega, you know what I'm saying? CEO and founder of Smoke Some Productions, you know what I'm saying? Just on here, getting the underground, trying to get on top, man. You know what I'm saying? Just doing it big, man. You already know what it is.
So, when it comes to, Garcia Vega, how did you come up with that name? Is that just your name in general, or is it something that was kind of given to you, or did you just create it?
Well, actually, the story behind that was my brother. We were sitting in the car, and we were going over because my rap name before that was G Ritter, and me and my brother was talking, and he was like, "Man, you should change your name." And I'm like, "To what? Like, what you think? G Ritter not cool enough?" He was like, "Well, I just think you should change your name." So, ironically, my actual middle name is Garcia. So, you know what I'm saying? My brother was like, "Man, you should just change it to Garcia Vega." And I'm like, because at first I didn't know what that was. So I'm like, "Garcia Vega? What's that?" So he was like, "It's a cigar." You know what I'm saying? It's like a cigar. I'm like, "Oh, really?" So I looked it up. I'm like, "Oh, shit, this is like an espresso cigar." So I'm like, all right, shit, that's cool. That's what's up. So, you know what I'm saying? And plus, me and my brother, you know what I'm saying? We used to smoke a lot. So, you know what I'm saying? Actually, my brother gave me that name, so that's where that came from.
Awesome. So about how long have you been doing hip-hop music and stuff like that?
Well, I've been writing since I was like 12, but I didn't actually get a chance to go into the recording studio until I turned 17. So, you know what I'm saying? I've been writing for a real long time. But my first actual recording session in the studio was I was 17. I actually met this guy on my job where I worked at, and cause he was like a loyal customer. I used to work at a supermarket, and one of my managers knew him, and my manager knew that I do music, and so she got at him for me, and we hooked up, and his son was actually a rapper, so we hooked up, and he helped me out with the studio and hooked me up, and I actually did my first underground CD in like 2005. It was called Retribution of a Social Victim. You know what I'm saying? That was my first actual time getting in the recording studio. So, you know what I'm saying? That's where I really got my start.
Where Oh no, go ahead, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, cause like after that, after that CD came out, it was like a kind of like a hiatus for like, I don't know, 5 years, because I wasn't able to get back in the studio again until 2010, which was when I met this was when I first got on Facebook, because when like social media and all that first came out, I really wasn't too quick to jump on the bandwagon. I kind of stayed away from that for a while, but around 2010, I got bored and I actually decided to go to the library and create a Facebook. So, you know what I'm saying, I got on Facebook looking for, fans of my favorite rappers, which is Bone Thugs and Harmony. I got on there and started looking for music fans and fans of Bone, and I actually found a couple in my city who also knew how to rap. So, you know what I'm saying, and I was actually looking for a connection to try to get back into, rapping and see if I can get into the studio. So, I hooked up with them, and, you know what I'm saying, we formed a group called Raw Approach. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're underground, and we've been we got some stuff out together with my own group or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying, because I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. So, you know what I'm saying, we did it pretty big around there, and you know what I'm saying, and after that, you know, we was together for a while, and after that we kind of split up after that, and I ventured out on my own, and eventually I decided to start my own label, which is Smoke Something Productions. So, you know what I'm saying, that kind of leads us to the present.
Awesome, dude. That's pretty interesting. You know, of all the things that you've experienced and such, and you know, using social networking skills, your social networking skills to reach out to people and try to form well, not just a group, but try to get, you know, back into music and connect with those people. I have heard of Raw Approach, actually. It was a while back, you know, because my Facebook, I'm always looking into artists such as yourself and other people, and I think I saw a video of yours, which it was pretty good. Even though, to those out there who wonder, you know, well, if you see these videos, you know, why don't you, you know, comment or anything like that on them? It's usually because, to be honest, I just, you know, kind of skim through them, you know, so I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, that's really good, you know, and I might like it, or I'll just keep, you know, going through my newsfeed. But it doesn't mean that I disrespect any art or anything like that. It just means that usually I'm doing something at the time when I'm doing it. But yeah, it was a pretty, you know, it's a pretty good group. It kind of sucks that y'all, you know, disbanded, but it's also good in the same sense that now you're doing your own thing, and you know, you're making your own label and you're building your own self. When it comes to, you know, your own label and stuff like that, what tips would you give to somebody who wanted to get into, you know, making their own brand, their own label, or even their own mark in the hip hop game right now?
Well, you know, I mean, I would suggest that, you know, you have some kind of, you know, rapport with, you know, a bunch of different artists, because, you know, people won't follow you unless you build a type of friendship or a type of, you know, some kind of relationship with other artists to where people believe in you. And, you know what I'm saying, the more people that you have to believe in you, and you can actually take that to your advantage, and you can have people follow you. So, you know, you will have to basically build a rapport or a connection with a lot of artists, or, you know what I'm saying, artists in general, you know what I'm saying. And then basically, if you wanted to start something on your own and you already have that connection with those artists, you can actually have that and, you know what I'm saying, take advantage of it, because people, you know what I'm saying, your connections with whatever artist you have will work for you in the long run. And,
yeah, and I totally agree.
Build your own, right. Yeah. And if you would build your own brand, that'll, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I totally agree in that, you know, social networking is very important, especially if you're trying to get out on your own, and especially if you're doing it as a solo and you're trying to make your own label. And that meaning that, you know, when it comes to making your own label, you're not looking to get signed by any corporate label or any major label. You're looking to just build yourself and make yourself known in the underground and hopefully eventually in the mainstream community. Speaking of the mainstream community, speaking of mainstream music, what is your idea on you know, what is your opinion on mainstream music today? I mean, you said you liked Bone Thugs and Harmony, so I was just curious as to what you think, if you think that mainstream's going in the right direction, or if you think they need a change in direction, or what?
Well, I mean, mainstream is definitely not what it used to be back in like the 90s and 2000s. It's like it's changed dramatically, and I'm talking about from looks to the type of music that people put out, and like it's like it's baffling. Like, I don't know if it's just the generation, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, you know, it may be just the generation. Because if you think back when we were young, you know what I'm saying, the music that our parents listened to, we weren't into that. You know what I'm saying? We were always saying, you know, we were always saying stuff like, Mom, why are you listening to this old stuff? Why are you listening to this old stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, our generation wasn't really hip to our parents' generation. So I figure, you know what I'm saying, it goes full circle. Each generation that comes up, you know what I'm saying, it's just not the same. So, you know, that opinion right there will probably be based on, you know, who you're talking to. Like say if you were talking to someone younger that's, you know what I'm saying, that's into this generation music, they'll probably be like, oh, this mainstream is good, this is good, and that is good. But, you know what I'm saying, our generation, it's like, because we grew up and, you know what I'm saying, we know music and we've been through what we've been through, so it's like a difference of opinion. But me personally, you know what I'm saying, I really don't like the way the mainstream is going right now, because, you know, basically, like I said, I grew up listening to like really lyrical stuff, really lyrical, you know, songs with meaning, songs with substance, things of that nature. Songs these days does you know what I'm saying, really don't have substance like that, because it's like the only subjects that are hot today is money, cars, women, you know what I'm saying, sex in general and all that, you know what I'm saying, and like for real, it gets repetitive and it gets tiring. So, you know, I think that, you know, coming up today, like the underground hip hop, like going into mainstream, I think if we would have just pushed that and really, really push it, we can get hip hop back to where it's supposed to be, to where though people focus on lyrics rather than the subject of the songs. Because I think that's what's going on nowadays. Everybody's focused on, you know, the scantily clad women in the videos, all the money being thrown around, and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But that's not really what hip hop is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though the term hip hop is being stripped away little by little as time goes on, because you know what I'm saying, it's not filling and it's not full enough. You know what I'm saying? Everybody nowadays is really into it, and they're liking it. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It may have something to do with the community or society as a whole, which is brainwashing everyone into liking this type of music. But, you know what I'm saying, now that we're hip and we're wise, you know what I'm saying, our generation anyway, we're hip and we're wise to what's really happening, what's really going on behind the scenes of this hip hop thing, or music in general. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it falls into place, though.
Yeah, and I can agree on some of the points that, you know, maybe it's just because this generation currently just, you know, they find it, you know, the loud beat, the trap and all that stuff, they like that, and it's party music. I understand that. And usually when it comes to mainstream, I don't try to put down any mainstream artists at all, because, you know, they still put a lot of hard work and money and stuff like that into their music. But I like to kind of, I find that maybe the underground is really where, if you're looking for something different and abstract and stuff like that, is kind of like the new mainstream, you know, like the mainstream to people like me or people like you, because the underground is filled with, I think really what it is creative control. And that in mainstream music, there's a lot of corporate businesses that really don't allow some artists to have full creative control. I think that they are pretty much whittled down to like certain subjects and certain things, or to whatever sells. But when you're in the underground, when somebody's just themselves, or they have their own label, such as you do, or something like that, they have full creative control because they're their own boss. And whenever they put out there is, you know, they use their own money, and either that or they mix it themselves, you know, so they don't really have any type of you know, restriction on what they can talk about or what they do. So I think that maybe in some cases that's the reason why the mainstream seems to be so repetitive, is just because it really comes down to just creative control. It's like that in most mainstream communities, like, you know, gaming, fashion and stuff like that, is that creative control is kind of, you know, it's kind of just kind of whittled down to whatever sells. So like if you look into the gaming and the music industry, you'll see a lot of indie artists and stuff like that really just catch the attention of large pools of audiences because it's different, and it's something that has just a unique sound or something like that. And that's the main reason why I'm always looking into different underground artists who nobody's ever heard about, or who isn't mainstream, or may not have like 4,000, 5,000, 100,000, a million fans, and they're really good. So stuff like that, it's not like anything degrading. It's not like when I say, oh, they don't have 5,000, a million fans, that they're bad. They're really good artists. It's just that they haven't really broke out there yet. They haven't made that leap, or that financially they don't have the expenses to make that leap. So hip hop is just like that, man. It's really risky. Everything's risky. Everything's based on how much you're willing to pay to get back, and how much risk you're willing to take in paying that. So it takes a lot of work. We're gonna have to wrap this up because it's getting kind of long, dude. I do appreciate talking to you. You have some really wise opinions and insight on hip hop, and I'm gonna let you give your shout outs to your fam and your team, and people like that, and your label and stuff like that. So you go ahead and do that, man.
Alright, I want to give a shout out to my whole Smoke Something team, the homie Tonic, my man Revision Land, my man T-Wall, Playboy Nice, my man London, my homie First Lady of Smoke Something Spitfire, my homie Salute, my man Brother Russian Rama, the whole Smoke Something team. I want to give a shout out to Massive EXP Radio, for, always listening to my tracks, They put me on their Spreaker show a few times, so shout out to y'all. Shout out to Rippin' Rhymes, my homegirl, Miss Rhymes. Shout out to Guns, the whole team, Shout out to everybody doing their thing. Shout out to my homie Young Mafia, my man Blake Darkmore, my homegirl Jade the Nightmare, we got a track coming out, Shout out to Soulja Boy, Soulja Boy Tally Up, look out for that collab, Smoke Sun Productions featuring Soulja Boy, look out for that, that's coming soon. Shout out to everybody out there doing their thing, and it's your boy Garcia Vega. And also check out that the brand new song I just dropped, called Self-Evaluation on my YouTube channel, you can check it out, on the link on this interview, and, holla at me. Smoke something or get broke something, bitch.
Right, man. And y'all go check out that song. I'm sure it's gonna be it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be awesome. Be sure to subscribe to his channel if you really like his content, and give him that following, because he's going places, and it's always good to get behind somebody who's got good content and stuff like that. So the link will be into the little description there below, so you can go ahead and you can check that out. And you can check out his music. You can check out the intro in the beginning. And y'all always stay tuned to Massive, because it's what we do. We're Massive. So I'll see all y'all later. Y'all peace out.